Well, welcome and good morning, Business 88 students. This is Mr. Doucette, and this is week number 10, just after spring break here at Chaffey College. We're looking at business communications, and we're going to focus this week on chapter 7, which is negative messages. And there's a certain way to draft or to create and organize your negative message. And specifically, you're going to be doing a negative email. So I'll be going over that writing assignment as well in this video, as well as what other assignments that you should be working on. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to go to Canvas and into our course. So here we are in our homepage, and of course we are in module number 2. We have a couple more weeks in module number 2, and then we'll be taking another exam and then we'll be moving into our third and final module, which will focus on employment communications. But right now, we're focused on business writing, as you know. So we already did the writing assignment for the blog and the instant message and the tweet and all those things. And then last week, or excuse me, should I say the week before spring break, we looked at a memo, floating holiday memo, and I didn't grade all those yet. I'll be grading those over the next couple of days. So make sure you go back and read all of my comments that I make on your writing assignments, because even if you get a good score and you're happy with it, there's certain things I'm pointing out as to why maybe you didn't get a perfect score. So make sure you go back and read those and apply it to your next writing assignment, which will be the negative news email. But of course, you're going to have a normal check-in assignment. We do that every week. It's only open for 1 week, so make sure you don't skip it. It's worth 10 points, and it's just questions out of the chapter that are important for you to know. And by the way, make sure your answers are substantial enough to prove to me that you understand the concepts. Some students I've been finding lately are just answering them kind of off the cuff and not really from the book. And what I'm looking for here is the textbook answer, not your answer. And the reason is I want to know that you've read what the book says about that particular topic. So please give me the textbook answer. Give me a few sentences for each answer, and then I'll know that you've read it. And that's the idea. You have PowerPoints as well. You can review those. That'll also help you with the check-in assignment. You have a quiz on chapter 7. And then, of course, you have your third writing assignment. And you also have your discussion post, don't you? Yeah, right here. Continued discussion post number 2 on business writing. Now, you should have watched my video on business writing. And if you did not do that, I basically do this assignment for you. So if you didn't do it yet, or if you actually, it's an ongoing assignment. You're supposed to make an initial post, and then you're supposed to view and comment other students' lists, and then you're supposed to make your final list. And so it needs to kind of be in that order. And if you've not done your final list, at least watch the business writing video, because this is what I go over in that video in detail. I go over the do's and don'ts of business writing. So make sure you do that, but it's not due until March. I think it's actually March 13th, or April 13th. But anyway, yeah, that was March 9th. I'm going to change that date on that because it's not due for a few more weeks. I think it's not due until the 14th, but I'll just put this week's due date in it. That way you'll know that not to neglect it. So I'll put down the 30th of March. And so that's that. That's very important that you stay on top of that one, and that you do have a multiple posts that go along with that. And then of course, the writing assignment is the big one this week. Now, by the way, if you notice, they're both worth 50 points, but this is due this week. This isn't due for a few weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this writing assignment. So this is going to be a negative news email. And the negative news messages always use the indirect strategy. What that means is you don't reveal the negative news until after you've given all the reasons for why the negative news is coming. So don't say anything about what's coming. Just build it up, build up all the reasons. And there's some great examples in your textbook of how to build up the message. But basically what your book says is to use a buffer. It's kind of a neutral statement that, kind of introduces the topic, but doesn't reveal it yet. And there's a lot of ways that you can do a buffer. You can look at your book and see they give you multiple ways to create a buffer, but your document should start off with something kind of a neutral statement, something we all agree with, or maybe a great compliment or something like that. And then give all the reasons for the news that you're about to reveal, but don't reveal the news yet. You don't want to put the news in your subject line either. You want to make sure you kind of keep it hidden. That's the indirect approach. Direct approach means, yes, say it. Indirect means wait until you've built up all the reasons. Because sometimes if you're going to give somebody bad news and you give it to them right away, they're not listening to all the reasonings after that. They're too upset, right? So give them all the reasonings first and then tell them the bad news, and it'll make a lot more sense and it kind of takes the blow away from it being such bad news. But anyway, so start with the buffer, give all the reasons for the bad news, then give the bad news, and then give a respectful close or a courteous close. Thank you for your compliance to this new ordinance or whatever it might be. But you're thank you for being understanding, something along those lines. But you're respectful. So that's very important that you follow the negative news format, the indirect strategy for a negative news message. I'll be looking for that in your document. Also, that it's formatted like an email, and this is very important. What does an email look like? Well, email programs create the email as far as the way that looks. So all I need is a subject line at the top, and technically a date would be nice, but the email itself, the body of an email itself, should have all the text design elements we've been talking about in this class. You should have headings, you should have bullet lists, you should have bold, underlined, and italicized text throughout the document to make important things stand out so that they have a high skim value. Somebody can skim your email and they can get the gist of it without necessarily having to read it all. So I give you some samples down here. Here's an email. It's laid out. It tells you what's good about it. So your email should look like this. And notice the signature block at the end. It has a full signature block. That's business emails. You don't want to send anybody an email that doesn't have all your contact information in it. Why? What if they want to call you? So it should have your phone number, your mobile number, your extension, your email address. All that should be in what we call your signature block of an email. Now, memos had no signature block. Emails have a complete and total signature block. But notice also, too, that there's a numbered list in this one. There's some bold text. There's the salutation ends in a colon. So there's a lot here. And then the subject line is very relevant. So make sure your email resembles this one at least, and you'll do a lot better. There's some other hints here on your negative news message, as well as up here. There's some guidelines, but here's the assignment scenario: is you're going to be basically announcing to all the employees that they can no longer use social media at work or during work hours. So you're giving them all the reasons for that change before you telling them about that change. So make sure you really, it's not a difficult assignment if you just stick with what's here and you rewrite it in a way that allows you to follow the indirect strategy. And that again starts with the buffer, continues with all the reasons, then gives the bad news, then courteous close, and you'll get a full score if you follow that, as well as make it formatted like an email, as well as using text design to improve skim value and readability. So that's it for week number 10. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me and I'll be happy to answer them. I don't have office hours here, but if you need to get a hold of me, I'll set up a Zoom session if we need to, or if we can't handle it over email or text, then we can do a Zoom session. So anyway, have a great week, everyone, and we will see you all on video. You'll see me on video next week. Until then, have a great one.